Today our topic is labor supply. Last time we studied the labor demand, why firms are going to demand labor, and today we are going to study why the households they are going to supply their working hours. Okay, so labor supply means who are the suppliers of labor services? They are the household, the society members who will supply their working hours in order to produce the goods and services. Okay, the firms they are buying the working hours of the labor, and the households they are the suppliers. Now there can be three main types of labor supplies. One is called individual labor supply, another is called market labor supply, and third can be called the long run labor supply. Okay, so labor supply, this is the supply of working hours at each wage rate by every individual worker or by all the workers. At every wage rate there is going to be a different number of working hours which are available in the market. Some workers they do not want to work at lower wages. They want to remain unemployed voluntarily because wages are lower than they were expecting to work. Okay, and some workers they will supply more working hours as the wages are going to increase, and this is the usual phenomena. And sometimes the wages go too high, at which the workers or the executives they will be supplying less working hours in the market. Okay, I will tell you the individual labor supply curve is going to be the backward bending. So today we see the individual labor supply curve. First of all, individual labor supply. Now every worker has to decide how many number of hours he or she is going to supply in the production unit. So first of all, we all know how many total hours are there per day. How many hours are there? They are 24. Now out of these 24 hours, the worker is going to consume 16 hours as leisure, and the remaining 8 hours he is going to supply as a working hours. How many working hours are there? 8. This is called work-leisure trade-off. Work-leisure trade-off means when wages are increasing, no one can change these 24 hours a day. What workers can substitute? They can substitute leisure with working hours. Right now, a worker is supplying 8 hours in the production unit to produce the output. When employers offers them the overtime wages, if they work for extra hours, and they will be paid the extra wages. So what worker will be doing? He is reducing the leisure and increasing the working hours. This is called work-leisure trade-off. Work-leisure trade-off. Work-leisure trade-off. Actually, when wages increase, what happens? Leisure decreases and working hours they will start to increase. Can you see a positive relationship between wages and working hours?
Yes.
Definitely, wages and leisure working hours they are positively related. Okay, so when wages are continuous to increase, now leisure is becoming expensive in terms of opportunity cost. If wages are increasing in the market and those who are not readily working, if they think that now wages are 50,000 rupees per month, this is the salary, this is not the wage. Wage is usually paid as a per hour. Okay. So when wages are increasing, they think that now leisure is becoming expensive. If they still consume time as leisure, they have to forego these extra earnings. So opportunity cost of consuming time as leisure, that will increase when wages are increasing. That's why a rational worker will decrease the leisure and he will increase the working hours. Okay? So when each worker is supplying 8 hours a day and there are 100 workers in one farm in one day, so there are 800 hours which are available with the farm in order to produce the goods and services. The 100 working hours per day, they are available with the farm in order to produce the goods and services. Okay? So we find here, so each worker, the individual labor supply curve is like this. This is, we say, the working hours. And here we find the wages. So this is what individual labor supply curve, which is backward bending. Now how this backward bending can be explained? Okay. Every time when wages are increasing, worker is decreasing leisure hour and increasing the working hours. But a time will be reached when the earnings of the workers, they are too high. Okay? These earnings of the workers, they are too high. They think that they are too much richer than before. They should not be supplying more working hours. Rather, they should consume more time as leisure, because increase in leisure time, that will improve their living standard. Okay? People are working less at higher wages, so they are consuming more time as leisure hours. When I say over here, look here, when wages are increasing, working hours are also increasing. If you remember substitution and income effects, what is happening? When wages are increasing, substitution effect is saying substitute the leisure hours in working hours. He is increasing the working hours. And what income effect is saying? Now your income is increasing, supply more working hours. So both substitution and income effects, they are moving in the same direction up till this bend. When working wages are increasing, so worker is substituting leisure with working hours. And income effect is also saying you are becoming richer, okay, supply more working hours. And this is the last limit. Where worker is increasing the working hours, you increase in wages. After this bend, what is happening? Now wages are too high. He is earning huge amount of money. So what happens? Now his income effect will become negative, and it is becoming stronger than the substitution effect. What is happening? After this bad demand, what is happening? Now his income effect is becoming negative. Income effect says you are too much richer than before. You are having enough income to support your livings. Even you can enjoy more time as leisure. So rather to supply more working hours, now it is time to supply less working hours, as your wages or earnings, they are too high than before. Okay? So when income effect, it is negative and it is stronger than the substitution effect, we have a backward bending labor supply. The individual labor supply curve will become backward bending when income effect is negative and it is stronger than the substitution effect. Okay? This happens for every worker at different wages. You can observe over here in this school atmosphere, we are having the custodial members. They have lower wages and they have more working hours to work. come at 7:30 and they go back at 3:30. Whereas the teachers, the administration, they are having higher wages, higher earnings, and their working hours are 6 hours or 5 hours per day. So as wages are increasing, so working hours by the executives, they are going to be shortened. They are supplying that. Here I said, if you observe the working hours of your principal, he is coming late and he is getting the highest wage for this working. So for that case, you can see over here, his backward bending labor supply is observed. It can be observed when wages are too high, so his income effect will become negative and it is stronger than the substitution effect. Okay, so for the executives, the labor supply curve is having a backward bending. After this band, people are supplying less working hours where they are earning more wages, so they will consume more time as leisure. So increase in leisure time for the people who are working in working class, that improves their living standard. That's why they are able to enjoy more time as leisure. Okay, this is individual labor supply curve. Now the firm.
Substitution effect भी है।
नहीं यार. Very good. What is substitution?
Replacing.
Yes. If you are substitution layer with working hour, this is called substitution. When wages are increasing, the worker is substituting layer time in working hours. Okay. So income effect is that when income is increasing too high. Okay. So what happens? Income effect is becoming now negative. Like the Giffen good, we said in earlier time that Giffen good is having negative income effect which is stronger than the substitution effect. The same is happening over here when wages are becoming too high. So his income effect will become negative and it is stronger than the substitution effect. Therefore, the labor supply curve for individual worker will be having backward bending. Now I said each worker is supplying 8 hours in a day. So how much is the firm labor supply curve? If I say working hours 8 and number of workers, how many number of workers are there? You can say there are 100 workers. So we have 800 hours per day to get work out of them. So I want to say one thing which I make the clarification, that is here I am taking labor as a working hours and here I am taking wages. The firm labor supply curve is not backward bending. This is the individual labor supply curve which is backward bending. This you can say, you can also say this is a market labor supply because there are 100 workers. Market labor supply, your individual firm is getting the workers from the market. It is upward sloping. Okay? But it cannot be backward bending. This is only specific to the individual labor supply. Okay? So we find that the labor supply curve which is present in the market, that is upward sloping. We will have more working hours available when wages are increasing. What are the reasons behind? At lower wages, less workers were having the participation rate. Now more people, more female workers, even they will start participating in the working hours. So we will have more and more worker supply available when wages are increasing. Now here I want to make another distinction. What is that? The skilled workers' labor supply curve will become inelastic as compared to unskilled workers. What do you mean by this? Now I say these are the doctors' labor supply and these are their earning. So I say labor supply of doctors, it is inelastic. What is is the reason behind the education and training which is required to become a doctor, it is too lengthy. There cannot be overnight increase in the supply of doctors. It will take time. Or engineers or chartered accountants. All those workers or executives which are having more educational and training times, they will have inelastic supply curves. Okay? And for unskilled workers, what is happening? I say the dishwasher. What do you think about the supply of dishwashers? They are having elastic supply. No education is required, no specific training is going to be there. As wages are increasing by small proportion, but there will be more availability of workers who are having the dishwashing ability. Okay? So for unskilled workers, elasticity matters. Now we have elastic labor supply curve. Even their demands are increasing, but their wages are not increasing by more proportion, rather their supply is having more responsiveness. Whereas in case of doctors, in case of chartered accountant, pilots, we say wages will be increasing by more proportion as their number is going to increase. Alright? Followed my points or not? Okay. So now this is the labor supply curve for individual. This is the market supply curve of the skilled workers. Okay. And this is the market labor supply curve of the unskilled workers. Follow? Now what is the long run labor supply curve of the country or in the labor market? Long run labor supply, in short run we can have the inelastic supply of labor. But in long run we can have elastic supply, or there can be the shift of labor supply. How labor supply will be shifted? Because of increasing the population size of the country, more people will be available to work in the long run. Population size is increasing. And if we say net immigration, more people from other countries, they are coming to us to do their jobs over here. That will again increase the labor supply in the long run. And more participation rates of female population will also increase the labor supply in future. Okay? And one factor which is also very important, when government increases income tax rate, which is a progressive one, what people are doing? Less will be available. This is causing disincentive to hard work when people are getting the age of 50 and they think that whatever they earn, they are giving it to the government in the form of higher taxes, they get retired. So participation of workers after the age of 50 years, that will become less and less. So we will have more old age people, the pensioners, when taxes are too much progressive. So in long run, there are many factors. Taxes are causing disincentive to hard work. When taxes are progressive on income of the people and government is starting to raise the income tax rate, what happens? Now less people are willing to continue their services, because whatever they earn, they have to pay more proportion in the form of taxes to the government. So they get retired in their early age rather than to work for the 60 years of age. They get retired at 50 years or after the 50 years of age. So less labor supply will be available. And if net emigration is there from the developing country, people are the skilled labor, they are moving to other parts of the world. So here we will find less labor supply in the long run, because majority of people, they are going abroad to work in other nations. Okay, that is also called a brain drain problem of the developing countries. Okay, this is about the labor supply curve. We started from individual labor supply, market labor supply, and long run labor supply curve, which is having little bit elasticity, and how will it shift right and left due to the changes in population size, due to the changes in migration condition, due to the changes in the participation rate of female population. Okay, so all these things, they are related to the labor supply. Now come towards how wages are determined in the labor market. Okay. Wage determination wage determination. Now we have studied both labor demand and labor supply. Okay. The market, this is we say the labor in the form of working hours, they are demanded and supplied. This is labor demand curve in the labor market, and this is what the labor supply curve. Where demand and supply of labor market, labor demand and supply, they balance with each other. We say this is the equilibrium number of workers which are employed, and this is the equilibrium wage rate in the market. Fine. Okay. Now see what happens in the individual labor. This is the working hours, and this is the wage rate. He is finding that this is the demand of individual worker and this is his supply. Okay. So these are the number of working hours in which each worker is supplying. He is facing perfectly elastic labor demand curve. There are many firms who are going to demand the services of this individual worker. So he is facing this market wage rate to be high. So where his demand and supply, they are balanced with each other, so he is supplying those number of working hours. Whereas we see this is the labor demand in the firm. If you remember, I should rather draw this diagram over here. Working hours, and these are the wages which are paid. The firm, we say this is the market which is deciding the wages. Market is the wage setter. The firm is wage taker. What it is? The wage taker. And this is also the individual worker, which is also, he is also the wage taker. Okay. At this wage rate, his demand is perfectly elastic by all the firms. There is perfect competition in the product and labor market, and now the firm is facing perfectly elastic labor supply curve at this wage rate, and that supply will equal to average cost, and that's equal to marginal cost. And I said it earlier, this is the marginal revenue product of labor or labor demand, where marginal revenue product equals to the wages. These number of hours will be employed, these number of workers will be hired by the firm in the market. This is the wage taker. Actually the phenomena, the market is the wage setter in perfect competition. There are many buyers and many sellers of labor, and each one is the wage taker. No one is the wage setter other than the market. Individual worker is facing the demand curve which is perfectly elastic, and this is his backward bending labor supply. So he is supplying 8 hours per day. Okay. So these are the workers which are demanded by the firm. How many workers they are going to employ? It depends upon the marginal revenue product of each worker. Okay. So I will continue the wages imperfect competition along with these characteristics of perfect competition in the labor market. The first thing which I said, labor wages are determined by the market. When in the product market demand is increasing for the product, so labor demand is indirect, labor demand will increase, so now the wages will increase in the labor market. And here we find increase in wages. So at increase in wages, less workers will be hired by this firm until unless the demand of this labor product that's also increases. So it will also be hiring more workers. If overall market demand has increased, product demand has increased, what happens? The product which are produced by this firm, its demand has also increased. So now at this higher wages, it will be hiring more workers. This is the main thing. And here the individual worker will be supplying more working hours when his wages are also increased by the market forces of demand and supply. I will continue from here. By the next class I will be writing all the characteristics, and then I will be writing drawing the market for the product, and it will be reconnected with the labor market. How labor market is working alongside the product market. Okay, so by tomorrow we will be doing that, and then we will be doing imperfect labor market like trade union and monopoly cases. Then this chapter can be having an end. And transfer earnings and economic rents. These are the two other topics which are left over. Trade union, transfer earnings, economic rent, and then the monopoly case. We will have the end of this chapter. I hope so till Friday or maybe after that. Thank you.